For families who have lost loved ones, children, mothers, fathers, roadside monuments represent tragedy and loss, a place where families come together and cry. The next time you see one of these monuments, take a moment and remember your family. And don't be afraid to speak out and tell them all, to drive safe and get home alive.
I'm not here to tell you how to live your life. I'm here to give you the facts. Fact 1, over 2,500 people die each year in traffic collisions in Canada. Fact 2, over 15,000 people suffer major injuries. Fact 3, more than 600 people are injured every day. If you look back 50 years, you'll see this sort of stupidity's nothing new. The only difference now is that cars have gotten safer and roads have gotten safer. What hasn't improved is attitude. If you don't change your attitude, or the attitude of someone you care about, you can count on sad days ahead. Maybe you've already been part of a collision and you drive a little more carefully because of it. That won't stop someone else from plowing through you someday because they haven't learned their lesson yet. I hope you walk away from it. You'll hear some stories today and you'll be offered advice, but it's up to you to make those changes in how you drive on our roads. And it's not just you, it's your mother, father, brother, and sister that all need to slow down, pay attention, and drive responsibly. You have a chain of friends at home and a chain of acquaintances and co-workers on your rig. You have a family chain. You're someone's son, father, brother, mother, or daughter. And you're a part of the Trinidad Drilling family chain right now. When we talk about breaking the chain, we're talking about losing a link. It could be you, it could be someone else, but it affects a lot of people. When Trinidad approached us to put together a driving safety video for its workers, we jumped at the chance. Pipeline Training Services believes there's a real need to change attitudes regarding driving safety. Maybe you didn't know that nearly 80% of all traffic fatalities are the result of drivers crossing the center line, running off the road, turning in front of oncoming vehicles, or failing to stop at stop signs. You might argue that this is Canada. Icy roads, wildlife, and bad luck are helping us kill ourselves. But 70% of all fatalities are happening on dry roads in clear conditions. That's odd, isn't it? Maybe these drivers are all impaired. Well, some of us are. 1 in 5 drivers who died this past year had been drinking. So breathe easy because you never drink and drive, right? But what about the other 80% of drivers involved in collisions? What's their excuse? And who are the people most likely to be killed in a motor vehicle collision? They are many of you watching this film, young guys who are supposed to have a lot of years ahead of them. The most important thing to take away from this film is to realize this is about everyone who's sharing the road. It's about everyone who cares, works, depends upon, met, and will meet you. This chain of people is being broken every day for simple reasons like driving too fast for the conditions, or simply not paying enough attention to what's happening around you. This film will let you meet people who have painfully learned the lesson of breaking the chain. We'll talk to safety experts and workers like yourself, and we will throw statistics at you, all with the goal of helping you realize you are the one responsible for preventing the next collision and avoiding breaking that chain.
Hello, I'm Frank Lemacher, Safety Coordinator for Trinidad Drilling. Over the past several years, we've lost 6 people in motor vehicle incidents. These were people with families and were part of our family chain at Trinidad. Please join me in taking a few moments to honor their memory. Dave Serena, Aero Drilling. Glenn Rideout, Bear Drilling. Jordan Daniel Belio, Summit Energy. Adam Polyak, Trinidad Drilling. Nathan Springing Maddock, Trinidad Drilling. Chris Magoon, Titan. Safety is something that needs to be taken seriously at all times. While these 6 men are gone, we owe it to their memory to ensure that this sort of tragedy is not repeated. We must change our attitudes towards driving to ensure we get to work and home safely.
I'm Lyle Whitmarsh. I'm the president of Trinidad Drilling. For the past 20 years, I've spent my life making a living in the oil field, not only in the office in downtown corporate Calgary, but also in the field like many of you that will be watching this video. Each day I traveled many miles back and forth to the rig, often with my friends and my colleagues who now become some of my best friends. During them travels, I've lost many people. Unfortunately, in the past, and even as we deal with it today, in this business, we always seem to be faced with tragedy, whether it be on the way to work, on the way home from work, or even at work. In my career, I've had to deal with several fatalities, and they've been the longest and hardest days of my life. It is without a doubt the hardest thing that I have to deal with, and one of my biggest worries every day when I go home. And that's why I promote such a safe working environment, and I believe in our people. When I go to sleep, I need to know that I've done everything I can do to make sure everybody is as safe and is going to get back to their families. And if I don't achieve that, then I just don't sleep. If this video prevents one fatality or one serious accident, then it has been a huge success, and I'll be happy. And I think the people that were involved in the video would equally be as happy to know that they've helped in preventing any future accidents.
One very simple way to take care of yourself when you drive is to wear your seatbelt. If you work on the rigs, you probably drive a truck. In 2004, more than a quarter of light truck drivers, 25 years old or younger, did not wear their belts. In any given collision, you're 350% more likely to be injured if you aren't wearing one than if you are. Your chances to escape unharmed increase only if you wear it properly. Keep the lap belt down over your upper thighs. Keep the chest belt across the middle of your chest. This will keep you inside the vehicle, keep you from hitting the interior, and spread the impact over more of your body. The choice to wear a seatbelt, an easy choice taking little or no effort, could mean the difference between life and death. Or it could mean the difference between a broken bone and a lifelong disability. This is an attitude that needs to be adopted, and if I can't convince you, then maybe Mel Mottram, safe driving expert from Attitude People, can.
Wearing a seatbelt is one thing, but you've got to wear it properly, for God's sakes. You know, and I don't give a shit whether you're doing 30 kilometres an hour, 50 kilometres an hour, or 120. I don't care whether you're going between one rig and another rig, okay? You wear your seatbelt. If you weigh 170 pounds, and most people I see on rigs weigh a bit more than 170, but if you weigh 170 pounds and you're doing 50 kilometres an hour, if you're going to hold yourself in position, you need to bench press 3,900 pounds. Pure physics, guys. Now, I don't know anybody who can lift 3,900 pounds. Right? It's easy to drink and drive, and quite frankly, if you don't do it, okay, then you're smart. If you drink and you drive, you're a bloody idiot, and I don't give a shit what you want to tell me here. People die from being in collisions, and it's not always you that dies. And if you want to kill somebody, then please let me know when you're on the road, because when it comes down to it, I don't want to be out there.
When you drive by a collision, what are you thinking? Once you've passed it, do you really care that someone might be fighting for their life while trapped in their car or laying in the ditch? That there's a 1 in 5 chance this was caused by a drunk driver? How do you justify killing someone? How do you measure the life of a friend, a relative, or a stranger against a night out? If you go out and hurt someone because you've been drinking, you'll never be able to justify it. Not to the families of those you hurt, and not to you. An estimated 1,690 Canadians, people just like you, and people just like your friends and family, die in alcohol-related crashes every year. We aren't asking much here, guys, just for you to start thinking about your safety and the lives you all touch. It starts with you. Many of you've lost friends and family in vehicle collisions, so you know what we've been talking about. Ed Burgoyne from Trinidad Rig 10 recently lost a close friend and has personally seen 6 friends in his life killed or disabled.
one person. Getting in an accident and making just the impact on your coworkers, your friends, your family. It's way too much. One person dying is too much.
You wearing a seatbelt? I heard maybe a few drinks tonight. Are you wearing your seatbelt?
Okay. Jim, okay?
Okay, well, he's not doing too good.
You made some big money, and you and your buddies are heading to the bar to spend it. Those few hours of good times can and probably will be forgotten. In fact, if you drive while drunk, tired, or distracted for any reason, it could be your last time. If you want to take chances with your life, that's one thing, but we're talking about our families here. More facts: you could lose your license, lose your vehicle, lose your life. If you crash, the very least you'll do is put your family through a living hell. We're about to meet a Trinidad rig worker whose story you need to listen to.
My name's Tommy, and I work for Trinidad Rig 7. One day we got rained out, and so me and some friends decided to drive to the big city. I don't know why. And we came home at around 3:30 in the morning, and we got in a single car accident. Me and the driver went flying out the window. The guy in the back seat had a seatbelt on. He was the only one. So he punched out the windows and walked for help with a broken leg, while the other guy lifted the car off me with punctured lungs and bleeding all everywhere. And that's all I can remember about the accident. And just stupid little things, like you hear that song on the radio and you want to know who it is, but you try so hard to remember, and you know it, but you just can't remember. And my eyes are all messed up. I can open them both, but I can't see anything with both of them open. I have troubles remembering lots of things now. It's the stupidest little things, like a song on the radio to someone's phone number. And it's pretty frustrating. I can't see. My liver is pretty messed up, and it's pretty frustrating. Like, I ran into somebody, and he started talking to me, and I just talked back because I didn't have a clue who he was. And I ran into someone else, and he said, "Yeah, you ran into what's his name?" And it's kind of weird because you didn't remember who he was. And I don't even remember talking to him. I've seen hundreds of those terrible safety videos at orientations and whatnot, and now they all make sense. Now it's slow down. If you're tired, stop, go to sleep in the car, or get a hotel room, whatever. And drinking and driving, that's not a good idea. It causes more troubles than anything. I myself, I have a son. He's 5 now. And if he ever got in an accident, no matter what, I'd be freaking out and just slow down. There's lots of reasons to, or stop or anything. Just be careful.
Remember, the people you're about to see or have seen are not actors. These people have suffered because we make stupid mistakes. Tommy admits that they made big mistakes that night, and he'll never be the same again. His injuries may heal, but he'll live with those decisions for the rest of his life. Let's see how Tommy's family chain was affected by his crash. Pay attention. This could be you someday.
My name is Cindy.
My name is Corwin.
And Tommy is our son. We were on holidays, and we were heading back to Moose Jaw. And we decided to stay overnight in Medicine Hat when we got that call that every parent hopes they will never get.
Tommy suffered a brain injury. I would rather he had a broken femur, broken neck, broken bones, anything, because you can see them healing. The brain injury, it's slow going. Some days you can't see any progress at all. Like I say, I'd rather have broken bones or something you could see. A brain injury is terrible.
When Tommy was in the accident, we were by ourselves going to Edmonton, but within an hour, family was phoning. Corwin has 5 sisters. They all knew about it. My mother knew about it. My 2 sons hopped in the car and drove from Moose Jaw to Edmonton, picked up my mother. My sister was affected. It affects everybody.
I've worked the road all my life. I'm an engineer in the railroad. I worked out of town, so I know what that's all about. Little towns, small hotels, closing hours, getting off work tired. Slow down. It's fatigue management. Look after yourself, because that one little mistake, you get in the car tired or had a few too many beers, it affects your family, everybody around you.
The hurt and worry of family members and close friends shouldn't be your only concern. One of the scariest statistics out there is that nearly 13% of traffic fatalities in 2004 were made up of pedestrians. Your chain of people could quite suddenly become crucial to someone whose name you don't even know, or a stranger's chain could quite suddenly include you. The operative idea here is safety all the time, everywhere. Industry safety experts don't just fall into their line of work. These are people who have lived what you're living. They know the rig because they've worked their way up over the years. They've seen the hazards and they've avoided them, and they want to help you do the same.
You got control of this driving. You know, you can control this driving part.
I can control the rig.
People themselves, I'm saying.
Absolutely.
Like, you know, you got control of what you're doing, so
that's right.
Keep her in control.
And you're the only one that drives your vehicle, not me. There are things to compliance, but it's still, like, again, that's on this side of the lease sign. It's the other side of the lease sign now that we need to start talking about. And nobody, no industry, no companies ever talked about, taking, or you guys changing what you do at home. For so long we've said what you do on your own time is your own business. And for the most part, I still believe that. But this driving thing, I don't, because it's not just the guys that I work with. It's my family's out there, your family's out there on the road. It has nothing to do with the rig. So if you're going too fast to get to the rig and you smash into a minivan full of people, that could be anybody. It could affect anybody in this room. So, we're like I say, we need to start doing something on the other side of the lease sign. Because, we have enough things and we have enough programs and policies and rules on this side of the lease sign. And I think we're doing a pretty good job. I'm talking about rig day-to-day operation accidents, is we do good. We can always do better. Everybody strives for zero. There has to be a goal. Zero has to be a goal. And it is achievable, but it's going to take time. And it takes people. So
that's the due diligence.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Of the contributing factors to collisions, fatigue is one of the greatest. Being too tired to drive causes far more collisions than alcohol does. And because it's impossible to tell how tired someone was before they died, it likely causes even more than we know. Several days of long hours and little sleep, a regular occurrence on the rigs, can catch up with you, can hurt or kill you, and could do the same to others sharing the road. After 20 hours of sustained wakefulness, you are impaired as if you have a blood alcohol content of 0.10%, which is above the legal limit. The important thing to remember is that sometime in your life, there's a good chance that a traffic fatality will affect you directly or not. It can happen to you or to someone you love, and it will never be worth the pain, the frustration, or the guilt if you let these statistics catch up with you. These guys will do everything they can to save your life. They are trained professionals, and you know it's going to be hard on them as they deal with tragedy every day. It's your attitude that will kill you. Drinking and driving, excessive speed, not wearing your seatbelt, and distractions are all parts of a deadly attitude. A license is a privilege, not a right. If you can't or won't drive according to the law, then the best you can expect is to lose that privilege. The worst you can expect is to lose your life.
Our patient has no pulse and he's not breathing.
There's no other way to say it. Buckle up, slow down, and pay attention. When you choose the action, you choose the consequence. In 2004, there were 112,553 collisions reported in Alberta alone. 24,000 people were injured. A person died daily in their car or truck in Alberta. About 9 collisions will have taken place as you watch this film. We talked before about dry roads and clear skies for some reason being the worst conditions for collisions. In short, the reason for this is inattentiveness. The detailed reason could go on for a while. Your burger needs unwrapping. You're lighting a smoke. You're talking on a cell phone. You're leafing through a CD booklet. You know this road too well to stop at that intersection.
Don't use cell phones when you're driving, and if you do, minimise how much time you're using it. It takes away from your attention to see things that are wrong. I'm sorry, I don't care whether it's hands-free, hands-held, whether it's a two-way radio or what it is. I don't give a damn, okay? It takes away attention. Don't do it.
A moment of inattention might be enough time for the car in front to slam on its brakes, for you to hit a patch of black ice, or for a deer to make a break across your path. At higher speeds, you have even less time to react to these dangers, and collisions at higher speeds are invariably much more dangerous than collisions at lower speeds.
When you start looking at speed, a study done by the Alberta Injury Prevention Centre actually last year found that 53% of all collisions are accounted for by speed. And what happens here is people look at this and they go, yeah, but it's excessive speed that makes the difference. No, it's not excessive speed. I mean, excessive speed will make a difference to you there, but 10 kilometres can make a difference to you. Just 10 kilometres an hour can make a difference between whether you live or die. This is not excessive amounts. And if you think, people come back to me and say, well, what about slow drivers, Mel? Well, if you think slow drivers are a problem, then what I would suggest that you do is that you take a walk about 10 feet from a wall and you walk into that wall. And then you come back that same 10 feet and you run into the wall. And you can tell me which one hurts the most, right? I mean, this is not rocket science. If you hit something harder, it hurts more. You don't have to go to university to work this one out.
Driving to the conditions is important, but be sure that you're including the world around you. Cars trailing and leading, wildlife, and weather as part of those conditions. Adam Polyuk of Trinidad Rig 10 died in a truck crash in August 2005. We're going to meet Adam's father, Alex, who was willing to share this story with you. I couldn't imagine the strength it must have taken for Alex to talk about his son. It's Alex's hope that you will learn from this. Please, if you won't listen to the facts, then listen to somebody who knows the truth.
Hi, I'm Alec Polyuk, Adam's dad, and a water hauler here off Trinidad 10. And just here talk to you about we lost Adam on the 5th of August as a result of a car collision, if you want to call it that or whatever. He was coming to work, thought he was late, I guess, and was going too fast, and met his maker. We don't know for sure when it happened, but it was probably around 7:30 in the morning on the way to crew change and that, and probably was the hardest day of my life because he didn't show up at work there, and just knew something was wrong, but just a feeling you get, I guess, and didn't actually find out about the accident till that night. Identifying him at the morgue was just unreal. I still can't get that sight out of my mind. A couple of weeks ago would have been Adam's birthday on the 5th. On the 6th of October would have been Adam's birthday, and my family, Pat, my wife, Adam's mom, and our children, Neil, Jimmy, and Lexi, and my sister Patricia, they went out and they put a cross up where Adam was found in the ditch. It was the first time that the boys and Lexi had seen where the accident was, and it really bothered our oldest son, Neil. He just couldn't believe it, a straight highway, and why he was mad at Adam for going so fast. And we often now talk about what could have been or would have been, like where our next son Neil is going to be graduating next year, and we don't know how that's going to go over without Adam. Don't break the chain of friendship, of working together, of families, of love for everybody. The love of life.
We all wish sometimes we could go back and change the past. That can't happen. Should have, could have, we all go through that. Guilt can stay with you for years. The truth is, we make good decisions and bad decisions, and sometimes we pay the supreme price. Adam did. Let's meet Jared from Trinidad Rig 10.
My name is Jared Mraz. I'm from Wishart, Saskatchewan. I've been on Rig 10 for the last a little bit over a year now, and I had the privilege of knowing Adam as a person, as a co-worker, of course as a friend. The last time I seen Adam was the morning of his accident. He came into my room at about 7:30 in the morning. Running a little behind schedule to get to work, and he kind of explained to me that he was late for work and the boys didn't pick him up, and he asked me if I would lend him my vehicle. You never think it could be the last time you see a person, or, you know, when he leaves in such a good spirit. Like, I mean, you just don't expect it to happen, and I felt really guilty because I thought maybe something was wrong with the vehicle, or, you know, maybe it was something that could have been changed in a different it just didn't I just blamed myself for letting him go. You know, you just want to try to hold on to something that you don't realize is just gonna be gone.
So it comes down to attitude. Yours, your family's, your friends, everyone. No one wants to die in a vehicle collision, and we're responsible for ourselves as well as for each other. Even if you don't speed excessively, even if you pull over when your cell phone rings, even if you don't eat while driving, you can still improve. You can tell someone you know to call back once they're parked. You can be less distracting to your driver. You can think about this film, the people in it whose stories you have heard, and the people you care about every time you get behind the wheel.
To change attitudes of somebody else is very, very difficult. Very, very difficult here. But you have to start with changing your own. You lead by example, and guys, if you are a manager, if you're a push, if you're the driller, okay, then you better be doing the right things, because if you're not, don't expect those kids to be doing the right things afterwards. This is not about just one person. You've got to lead by example. And it's a tough question though. How do you change other people's attitude? The answer is you don't. You change your own. And that's the only person you've got any control over.
I'm Joe West. I'm from Foam Lake, Saskatchewan. Born and raised there. Been in the patch for 5 years. And it's another rig hand. I showed up to the rig at 6 o'clock at night before Adam died. Convinced him and a couple other guys to go out drinking. We drank outside at the bar till 3 o'clock. We got split up at the end of the night. I showed up as a tower in the morning to pick him up to go to work. I banged on his door. He didn't wake up, didn't hear me banging. So I just left and paying the price ever since. Not bring these tears in my eyes though.
You know what you can do. You know what you should do. The question is, will you do it? I can't make you. Trinidad can't make you. That's the point of this whole exercise. It's up to you. A year from now, we're going to check back with you and see how you're doing. See if you're placing more value on your life and the lives of others. Do what you can to stop breaking the chain. Drive safely. Make good choices. Stay alive.